Welcome to the deep dive. Today, you and I are going on, well, a bit of an expedition.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Where are we headed?
Our destination. It's a collection of 75 everyday English phrases.
Ah, okay. 75, huh?
Yeah, now you might be thinking, 75 phrases? That sounds like a lot of memorization. But our mission here isn't just about rote learning.
Right. It's got to be more than just flashcards.
Exactly. We're here to really understand why these particular phrases are so incredibly useful for you, the listener, and how actually using them can make your English flow more naturally.
Make it sound more intuitive.
Yeah, and ultimately help you connect more smoothly in just, well, daily conversations.
Yeah, and what's fascinating about focusing on these kinds of everyday phrases is that they represent so much more than just the sum of their individual words,
How so?
Well, they're like little packages of meaning. They reflect cultural stuff, social expectations, efficient ways of talking about common experiences.
Little packages. I like that.
So we're going to explore a selection of these, looking at not just, what they mean, but how they actually function in real-life situations.
Okay.
And maybe more importantly, we'll discuss why learning these ready-made chunks of language can often be a far more effective shortcut to natural-sounding English.
Yeah, much better than trying to meticulously construct sentences word by painstaking word.
Exactly. It's like getting access to the inside track.
Right. You're learning how native speakers actually talk, not just how the grammar books, say they should talk.
Mm-hmm.
These phrases, they often carry nuances that individual words just can't convey on their own.
Yeah, definitely.
They become almost automatic once you kind of get the hang of them. And they simplify those everyday interactions, whether you're just passing someone in the hallway or figuring out lunch plans or, winding down at the end of the day.
And it's about building confidence, too, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
When you have these phrases ready to go, you're less likely to stumble over your words or feel like you have to translate constantly in your head.
Right. Frees you up a bit.
Yeah, it lets you participate more fully and spontaneously in conversations.
Okay, so let's dive into some specifics then. The video kicks off with ways to start conversations, and the first one they highlight is, how's it going?
The classic.
Yeah, you've likely encountered this one. It feels almost ubiquitous, doesn't it?
It really does.
But that's precisely because it's such a versatile and useful way to kick off a casual exchange.
It really hits that sweet spot, doesn't it? It's friendly, but it doesn't demand a really deep or personal response.
Right, not like a more formal, how are you?
Exactly. Think about the subtle difference there. Going implies like a sense of movement, a less static state than are.
Interesting point.
Sets a lighter tone. Suggests you're interested in just a general overview, not, a detailed life story.
Yeah.
Which is why it works so well with friends, family, and those colleagues you feel comfortable with.
Right. It's that easy, almost breezy check-in. And the responses tend to mirror that casualness. You might hear, it's going well, thanks. Or a simple, pretty good. Or even just a brief, just a bit busy, without feeling you need to elaborate.
Yeah, Liam's example in the video, how's it going? Followed by, not bad, just thinking about lunch. That's perfect.
Totally. It's just a natural low-stakes opener.
Which leads us nicely to another very common casual greeting, what's up?
Ah, okay. This one dials up the informality even further, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. What's up? Feels like the quintessential casual greeting.
Yeah, the one you'd almost exclusively use with people you know really well, feel completely at ease with.
Right. And the responses are usually even shorter.
Right.
Oh, a quick, not much, or relax, just hanging out, or even just bouncing the question back. Hey, what's up with you?
Yeah, it's all part of that really informal, relaxed vibe. It's interesting how these brief exchanges can instantly signal the level of closeness between people.
Exactly. The very brevity and informality of what's up communicates that pre-existing comfort level, that shared understanding.
Right.
You wouldn't typically walk into a formal business meeting and say, what's up?
No, probably not the best idea.
It just sets a certain tone right from the start.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about those precious moments of downtime. The phrase, I'm just chilling.
Oh, yeah.
This is one I find myself using constantly. It just perfectly captures that feeling of unwinding.
It's a fantastic example of a phrase that's, greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
How so? Well, Chilling by itself might suggest being cold, right?
It's true.
But in this context, combined with just, it paints a picture of complete relaxation. Taking it easy. Maybe you're on the couch with a book, streaming a movie.
We're just enjoying some quiet time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As the video points out, if someone asks what you're doing on a lazy weekend, saying, it's chilling at home, immediately conveys you're not busy or stressed.
You're in full relaxation mode.
Totally.
Yeah, it's the polar opposite of that feeling of being running around like crazy, as they put it.
Right.
Emily's example in the video. What are you up to this weekend? Not much. Just chilling, maybe watch a movie or read. It's so relatable.
It really is. It gives such a clear sense of a low-key, restful time.
It's also incredibly efficient, isn't it?
Yeah. Instead of listing out all the relaxing things you might do, just chilling sums it all up.
Okay, now, let's pivot to something essential. Food. Grab a bite. Such a practical phrase.
It really is. Super common. It suggests getting a quick and informal meal or snack, especially when time is short.
Like at work.
Exactly. Think about those brief lunch breaks, saying, hey, want to grab a bite at the cafe downstairs? It's just a concise way to propose a fast meal.
Or when you're out running errands.
Perfect example. As they mention, if you're tackling errands and feel a bit hungry, I'm going to grab a bite before I head home. Implies a quick, convenient stop, not a formal sit-down dinner.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to our often busy lives. The need for efficient ways to, deal with hunger.
And the little scenario they act out is so typical, right?
Yeah. Hey, Emily, I'm starving. Want to grab a bite? Sure, but not pizza again.
Fine. Fine salad it is.
It's just that everyday, slightly humorous back and forth that these phrases make so easy.
It really highlights how seamlessly they integrate into the flow of casual conversation. Quick decisions, shared understanding.
Okay, now, as all good things must eventually wrap up, let's look at phrases for ending activities. Call it a day. That's a real workhorse, isn't it?
It is. Very useful. It signifies stopping work or finishing an activity, often because you're tired or you've reached a natural stopping point.
Right. Like the video says, after hours of intense work, that fatigue sets in.
You might just declare, okay, I think I'm going to call it a day.
But it's not just for work, is it?
No, not at all. Its utility extends beyond that. If you spent the whole afternoon cleaning your apartment, you're totally exhausted.
I'm calling it a day. Works just as well.
Exactly. It's a clear, universally understood signal. You're finished with that activity for now. It reflects that common need to, recognize limits and signal the end of effort.
And then it's close relative for the evening. Call it a night.
Very similar idea, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
It mirrors call it a day, but specifically for the evening. It generally means it's time to stop whatever you're doing for the night.
Often implying it's time for bed.
Often, yeah. Or at least switching to more leisurely things before bed. Their example, it's almost midnight, should we keep working on this project? Followed by, nah, let's call it a night. That's such a common scenario.
It acknowledges the late hour, suggests it's time for rest. Makes sense.
And sometimes you just need a momentary pause, not the end of the day. Take a break.
Pretty self-explanatory, this one, but so crucial for well-being and productivity.
Absolutely. It's that essential moment of stepping back.
Yeah.
Resting, recharging.
Like if you've been studying for hours and your brain feels fuzzy.
Exactly. Your concentration is waning. Or maybe you're at work feeling overwhelmed by some big task, saying, I need to take a break, or I'm going to take a quick break.
It's clear, concise, and perfectly acceptable.
Right. It's a small but really significant act of self-care, often just facilitated by this simple phrase.
Okay, now for a less glamorous but equally important part of daily life, errands. Run errands.
Ah, yes. Such a wonderfully practical phrase.
It covers a lot, doesn't it?
It does. If someone asks about your plans for Saturday and you've got that mental list or maybe a physical list of tasks outside the house.
You just say, I need to run some errands.
Perfect. It's the all-encompassing answer. It neatly covers going to the bank, picking up dry cleaning, grocery shopping, all those smaller tasks without listing each one.
Super efficient way to communicate a common type of activity. Now, keeping those social connections alive, that's vital. And keep in touch is the go-to phrase for expressing that desire, right?
Yes, definitely. It's a polite, kind of hopeful way of saying you want to maintain contact with someone, even if regular face-to-face meetings aren't really feasible.
It feels like a bit of a social lubricant sometimes.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
At the end of a meeting or when saying goodbye, especially if someone's moving or starting a new job.
It's been great working with you. Let's keep in touch.
Exactly. It conveys that sentiment, wanting to stay connected, but without making a specific, concrete commitment right then and there.
It acknowledges the value of the relationship and expresses a positive intention for the future.
Precisely.
And then there are those times when the clock just seems to be moving way too fast, in a hurry.
Oh, this is crucial sometimes. It's for politely excusing yourself from a conversation or explaining why you need to move quickly.
Like if you're running late for something.
Yeah, you bump into someone, they start chatting, but you have an appointment. A simple, sorry, I'm in a hurry, is clear, concise, respectful.
Or like the video suggests, rushing for a train.
Right. I'm in a hurry, can we talk later?
Yeah.
It effectively communicates your time constraint while still acknowledging the other person. It's about navigating those social interactions while respecting everyone's time.
Okay, another incredibly useful and versatile one. Pickup.
Ah, yes. A few common meanings here.
But the main one is collecting something or someone, right, from a specific place.
Exactly. Whether it's, I need to pick up some groceries on my way home.
Or I'm going to pick up my friend from the airport.
It describes a really fundamental action in daily life. Clearly, efficiently communicates retrieving something or someone from a designated spot.
And for those moments when you like to have a backup plan, there's the ever-prepared just in case.
This phrase is all about contingency planning, isn't it?
Yeah, being ready for something that might happen, even if it's not certain.
Saying, I'm going to bring an umbrella just in case it rains, is the perfect example. It's about having that extra layer of preparedness for, well, unforeseen circumstances.
Always good to be prepared.
Now, let's shift focus a bit to productivity. Get things done.
Ooh, I like this one. It embodies that sense of purpose, of accomplishment.
Right, saying, I'm going to stay late at the office tonight to get things done. It speaks volumes.
It really does. It's about your commitment to finishing your tasks, being productive, taking initiative, seeing projects through.
There's a real sense of agency and drive packed into those three simple words.
Definitely.
Okay, connecting with people on a deeper level, so important. And catch up. This has a couple of key meanings that help with this.
Yes, it does. The first and probably most common one is about reconnecting with someone you haven't seen or spoken to in a while. Like, we should catch up soon.
Exactly. It's a general invitation to get together, share updates on each other's lives. Following up with something like, let's grab coffee next week and catch up, makes it more concrete.
And the second meaning?
The second meaning, as they rightly point out in the video, is about getting back on track with something you've fallen behind on.
Ah, like emails after vacation.
Precisely. Or maybe episodes of your favorite TV show that you need to watch. It just highlights the versatility of this seemingly simple phrase.
And that frustrating feeling when something just isn't working correctly, out of order.
Covers that perfectly, doesn't it? It's straightforward, universally understood, indicates something's broken, not working as it should.
A coffee machine, a website.
Yeah, out of order, clearly communicates its unavailability or malfunction. Simple as that.
Life often feels like a whirlwind of activity, doesn't it? And the phrase on the go vividly captures that sense of constant movement.
Absolutely. If your life is just a constant stream of activities, appointments, travel, saying I'm always on the go describes that fast-paced lifestyle perfectly.
I've been on the go all week, meetings, errands, you name it.
Exactly. It paints a clear picture of someone with a highly active schedule.
Sometimes, though, you just need to embrace the present moment and make the most of it.
Yes. It's a phrase that encourages a really positive, proactive approach to experiences.
It's about seizing an opportunity, appreciating it fully.
Yeah. If you're on a long-awaited vacation, saying, I'm going to make the most of my time here, expresses that intention to just savor every moment.
Be present, engaged.
And determined to get the maximum enjoyment or benefit from whatever situation you're in.
And then there are times when you need to settle down. This one carries a couple of important meanings.
It does. The first meaning, maybe the more immediate one, is about calming down. Regaining composure after being upset or agitated or maybe overly excited.
Gently saying, settle down, it's okay.
Right. It's a way to reassure someone, encourage them to regain that emotional equilibrium.
And the other meaning?
The other meaning refers to establishing a more stable, permanent lifestyle, often after a period of, significant change or transience.
Like after years of traveling or moving around a lot.
Exactly. Saying, I think I'm finally ready to settle down, indicates the desire for stability, for permanence.
Okay. For those relaxed, informal social gatherings, hangout is the perfect laid-back invitation.
It's the quintessential phrase for that, isn't it? Suggesting casual, unstructured time with someone, no specific plans or agenda needed.
Asking, want to hang out this weekend?
It's just an open-ended invitation. Spend time together informally, maybe watch a movie, grab a casual meal, or just enjoy each other's company.
It emphasizes the social connection over any specific activity.
Right.
Now, when it's time to begin a journey, big or small, hit the road is a fun, energetic way to announce your departure.
It is. It's casual, slightly enthusiastic, signals you're leaving or starting a trip.
Okay, let's hit the road.
It's just a more informal, more spirited way of saying let's get going, especially when you're embarking on something, whether it's a long road trip or just a drive across town.
Starting a conversation, especially in a new or maybe slightly awkward situation, can sometimes feel challenging. That's where break the ice comes in handy.
Exactly. It's all about initiating that conversation, particularly in settings where there might be some formality or shyness or just uncertainty.
Like at a networking event.
Perfect example. Deciding to break the ice by asking about someone's background, that's a common, effective strategy. Eases tension, starts a dialogue.
And once you've successfully broken the ice, it's often time to get the ball rolling.
Yes. This phrase implies wanting to initiate action and then keep things moving. Maintain momentum.
It's about starting something, a project, a discussion, any initiative, really.
And ensuring it progresses smoothly. Say, right, let's get the ball rolling on this new marketing campaign. Clearly indicates that desire to move from planning into active implementation.
We touched on it earlier as a greeting, but what's up? It really is like a linguistic Swiss Army knife, isn't it? It pops up everywhere.
It really is remarkably versatile. Beyond just being a casual greeting, it can also work as a general inquiry, like what's happening or what's new.
It's informal, widely understood.
And adaptable to a huge range of casual interactions. A true workhorse of everyday English.
And then there's that universally recognizable moment. Encountering someone you haven't seen in ages. Perfectly captured by long time no see.
It's such a natural, immediate way to acknowledge that time has passed since you last met.
It feels friendly, enthusiastic.
Yeah, it instantly bridges that gap caused by absence and opens the door for catching up. Even the slightly informal structure of the phrase itself contributes to that warm, welcoming feel.
After a particularly exhausting day, there's often nothing quite like declaring, I'm beat.
Oh, yeah. It's so succinct, isn't it?
Yeah.
But powerful. Expresses extreme tiredness.
It's concise, almost universally understood, utter weariness, exhaustion.
Saying, wow, I'm beat, I just finished running a marathon. It clearly conveys that feeling of being completely drained, physically or mentally.
Simple, direct way to communicate that state of being. Now, when a task or situation turns out to be surprisingly easy, the idiom, it's a piece of cake.
That's a fun one. And rather delicious sounding.
It is. It's a vivid way to say something is very simple, requires minimal effort.
So if someone asks, how is that exam you were worried about?
And you reply, oh, it was a piece of cake.
It immediately conveys it wasn't difficult at all. The imagery, easily enjoying cake, makes the ease of the task very clear.
As the day winds down, let's call it a night, gracefully signals the end of evening activities.
Yeah, similar to call it a day, but specifically for the evening. It politely indicates it's time to stop whatever you're doing.
Usually meaning time for bed or at least winding down before sleep.
Right. Acknowledges the end of the active part of the day, suggests a shift towards rest.
Unfortunately, life doesn't always stick to our schedule. Sometimes we find ourselves saying, I'm running late.
A very common, easily understood way to explain a delay. And pretty essential, frankly.
Yeah, it's crucial for politely informing someone you're behind schedule, you won't be on time.
It's standard, widely accepted. Manages expectations. A quick, sorry, I'm running late, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Informative and apologetic.
When you need just a brief moment of someone's attention, hold on a second.
Your reliable go-to for that. Quick, polite, universally understood. Ask someone to wait for a very short time.
On a phone call, need to check something.
Or in a face-to-face chat, need a brief pause. Hold on a second. Works perfectly. Communicates that need for a momentary interruption.
We've all had those moments of absent-mindedness, and it slipped my mind.
A gentler, more casual way to admit you forgot something, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels softer than just saying, I forgot.
It can help mitigate any perceived carelessness. Suggests the oversight was unintentional, easily done. Oh, it completely slipped my mind. Sounds more like a momentary lapse.
When you're eager and ready to give someone your full attention, I'm all ears.
Such an engaging, enthusiastic way to show it.
It really is. Wonderfully expressive, emphatic, Says, I'm listening attentively.
Yeah, it conveys genuine interest in what the other person has to say. Assures them you're fully focused.
Offering to cover the cost, a generous gesture. It's on me.
The perfect phrase for that. When you want to treat someone.
Clear, direct, generous. Says you'll pay for the meal, drinks, whatever it is.
Straightforward offer. Often fosters goodwill, that social connection.
Now, for situations where firm plans are tricky, let's play it by ear, offers flexibility.
This phrase beautifully captures that willingness to stay flexible. Decide later, depending on how things develop or how everyone feels.
Avoids rigid commitments, allows for spontaneity.
Exactly. We're not sure what time we'll finish, so let's just play it by ear for dinner. Keeps the options open.
When you're not feeling quite yourself, I'm feeling under the weather.
A polite, understated way to communicate you're unwell.
Yeah, it's gentle, widely understood. Means you're slightly ill, not quite up to par.
Without needing to go into details about the specific ailment. Polite way to explain low energy or lack of enthusiasm.
And when it's finally time for sleep, let's hit the hay.
A fun, informal way to suggest going to bed.
It is a bit casual, maybe slightly old-fashioned.
Yeah, perhaps, but still charming. The imagery, hitting the hay, evokes that sense of rustic simplicity, rest. Still very common.
When something isn't really a big problem, you can reassure someone. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, a way to minimize worry. Downplay the importance or seriousness of something.
Offers comfort, reassurance to someone who might be concerned.
Puts things in perspective, reduces anxiety. Very useful.
If you're just joking around, teasing someone, I'm just pulling your leg.
The perfect way to signal they shouldn't take you seriously.
Playful, lighthearted means I'm just kidding, or I'm teasing you.
Clarifies that a statement wasn't meant literally. Prevents misunderstandings.
When it's time to focus, get serious about a task, let's get down to business.
A clear signal to shift gears, isn't it?
Definitely. Direct, unambiguous. Time to stop the casual chat, start working, concentrate on the matter at hand.
Sets a tone of seriousness, purpose.
When you find yourself in a similar tough spot to someone else, I'm in the same boat.
Oh, that's a great one for empathy. Conveys shared experience.
Yeah, expresses you're facing the same challenges or difficulties. Creates that sense of solidarity.
Shared understanding.
Yeah.
Can be really comforting to know you're not alone in whatever struggle it is.
Leaving a decision entirely to someone else. Easily done with the simple phrase, it's up to you.
So direct, so clear. Says, I'm deferring to you. You choose. Gives them the autonomy.
And when it's time to conclude a meeting, a discussion, an activity, let's wrap it up.
The concise way to signal the approaching end.
Clear, efficient. Indicates it's time to bring things to a close, move on.
Suggests a need to summarize, finalize things.
Okay, now, as we mentioned, the video also touches briefly on figurative language and idioms.
Ah, yes. This is where the language gets really colorful, really deep.
Totally. Think of something like throw someone under the bus. It just paints such a vivid picture of betrayal.
Exactly. These idioms are fascinating because they convey complex meanings through figurative language. Spill the beans, revealing a secret.
Uses the image of accidentally dropping something.
Right. For the unintentional disclosure.
Yeah.
And hit the nail on the head. Brilliantly uses that idea of a precise action to mean being exactly right.
These go way beyond literal definitions. They tap into shared cultural understandings, and there are just so many of them. Think outside the box, encourages creativity. Take it with a grain of salt, advises skepticism.
Once in a blue moon emphasizes rarity.
Being on the same page signifies agreement, while something described as cutting edge is clearly super modern, advanced.
And the collection is vast. You've got back to the drawing board, starting over after a failure, burn the midnight oil working late.
Saying the ball is in your court puts the responsibility on someone else.
Something costing an arm and a leg, obviously very expensive. Sitting on the fence, being undecided.
They add so many layers of meaning, often a touch of humor or vividness to how we talk.
Absolutely.
Right, or like bite the bullet for enduring something unpleasant. Summarizing in a nutshell, advising take it easy to relax.
A win-win situation where everyone benefits.
Yeah.
Saying you're spot on for complete accuracy.
Expressing dislike with, it's not my cup of tea, indicating patience has run out with, that's the last straw.
Encouraging perseverance with hang in there. Promising immediate action with, I'm on it.
Wishing good luck, especially before performance with, break a leg. Asking for ideas with, what do you have in mind?
Describing an easy decision as, it's a no-brainer. Needing time to decide with, I'll sleep on it.
Something seeming familiar as, that rings a bell. putting in extra effort by going the extra mile.
Doing something poorly to save resources by cutting corners. Postponing a problem with, let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Introducing a difficult truth with, let's face it, being unsure with, I'm on the fence. Informally agreeing with, let's shake on it.
Uncertain plans being up in the air. And feeling utterly exhausted, like we mentioned earlier, running on fumes. It's a truly rich tapestry of expressions.
Wow, yeah.
These idioms, they might seem a little opaque at first glance, but they are incredibly prevalent in everyday English conversation.
So understanding them is key.
Definitely. It enhances your comprehension, but it also lets you express yourself in more nuanced, more colorful ways. Brings you closer to sounding like a native speaker.
So as we kind of bring this deep dive to a close, it feels really clear that familiarizing yourself with and actually using these everyday English phrases, it can significantly elevate your communication skills.
Yeah, no doubt. They're invaluable tools for sounding more natural, boosting your confidence.
And just making those daily interactions smoother, more effective.
And the real power, I think, lies in recognizing that these phrases often carry this weight of cultural understanding, implied meaning. It goes beyond just the literal definitions of the words.
Right. It's about understanding the context, the subtle social cues they convey. Absolutely. And the most effective way to really integrate these into your own speaking is, well, active practice.
You gotta use them.
Yeah. Start paying close attention. Notice when you hear native speakers using these phrases in conversations, movies, podcasts, wherever.
Then try them out yourself.
Exactly. Make a conscious effort. Try to incorporate 1 or 2 new phrases into your own interactions each day. Don't be afraid to experiment a little. Get comfortable with them.
Because at their heart, these phrases are linguistic shortcuts, aren't they?
That's a great way to think about it.
They let you communicate complex ideas, navigate social situations with greater efficiency, greater understanding, and ultimately that fosters stronger connections with people.
So here's maybe a final thought to consider as we wrap up. Think about how these seemingly small phrases act as these incredibly efficient conversational shortcuts. They pack layers of meaning, cultural context into just a few words. What other kinds of linguistic shortcuts do you think exist in language? Maybe even in languages you already know.
Interesting question.
And how might a deeper understanding of these kinds of shortcuts further enrich your journey of language learning and, well, cultural understanding? This exploration into the intricacies of language, it's a continuous one, really. And with every new phrase you learn, you're unlocking new avenues for connection and insight.